One day you're raising your children, and then, almost before you've caught your breath, you're holding your grandchild for the very first time. And something shifts, not just in your family, but deep in your soul. I remember that moment so clearly, standing in the hospital room, being handed my first grandson, and hearing my daughter say, "Dad, here's your grandson." In an instant, everything changed. I was a grandfather, and with that came something unexpected, a quiet, sacred sense of responsibility. Scripture says children are a heritage from the Lord. And as I held my grandson, I began to realize grandchildren are part of that inheritance too. They're not just additions to the family. They're invitations from God, invitations to love, to pray, to guide, to invest in a way that echoes into eternity. Over the years, as more grandchildren were born, this realization didn't fade, it deepened. Each child felt like God whispering, "Here's another one to bless, to walk with, to point toward me." And I began leaning into a life-shaping question. What does it mean to be a faithful grandparent? Not just present, but purposeful. Not just involved, but intentional. Because now with 12 grandchildren, here's what I believe. Christian grandparenting isn't accidental influence. It's intentional disciple-making. Psalm 71 says, "Even when I am old and gray, let me declare your power to the next generation." What a calling! But here's the truth I'm learning. If I want my grandchildren to walk with God, I must walk closely with Him myself. Because influence doesn't just come from what we say, it flows from who we are, from our habits, our prayers, our daily decisions. I don't want my grandchildren to just hear about Jesus. I want them to see Him in my life, to spend time with me and quietly think, if Grampy loves Jesus, He must love me too. And if that's all I accomplish, that's enough. And I don't do this alone. Grammy walks this journey with me. Her love, her faith, her attentiveness, they've shaped our family in ways I could never do on my own. Because grandparenting at its best is relational. It isn't just something to live, it's something to share. So that's why I wrote Christian Grandparenting, Leaving a Lasting Legacy. To encourage other grandparents to say you matter more than you think. Your role isn't secondary, it's strategic in God's kingdom. My book isn't a manual of perfection, it's a companion for the journey. A way to help you reflect, pray, and step into this calling with confidence and joy. So if you're a grandparent or about to become one, don't leave grandparenting to chance. Step into it with purpose, with faith, with a vision for a spiritual inheritance that goes beyond this life. Let's walk this journey together and, by God's grace, leave a legacy that points our grandchildren straight to Jesus. Because being a grandparent is your sacred calling. I'd love to invite you to pick up a copy of Christian Grandparenting, Leaving a Lasting Legacy.